All right, in this video, I'm going to give you a really quick tutorial in how to actually put the mood board templates that you gathered from the post to use. Now, you're here probably either because you're looking to be a designer who provides mood boards and branding for clients, or you're looking to basically DIY your own brand. Either way, having a mood board is a great thing to have as part of your branding package because it gives you an opportunity to create a litmus test for future branded items. So I'll give you an example. When I do these for clients, it's a really visual way to just basically have a style guide to check and see if the branding that we're going to create down the road matches with the original feel that we kind of were thinking of as we worked in the brainstorming stages. So this is one of the items that I do first for my clients. They select images usually from Pinterest and we share a sacred board. And then I gather up the images of kind of what I'm seeing and kind of make a smattering of images and then put them into a mood board and send it back over to the client to say, is this kind of the feel and look that jives with the idea of the brand that you have in your head? And then from there, we go back and forth adjusting images and pictures and that type of thing to make sure that we really are moving forward. It's really helpful for me as a designer because this helps me see what my client is thinking, and then I get to gather the pieces and get their approval before I start going and putting in a ton of work on their logo, only to find out that this really wasn't what they were thinking at all. So it's a really good check. With that said, if you're brand new to Illustrator, I'm going to walk you through the tools we're going to use and how to create one of these so you won't be left in the dark. First things first, I want you to take a look at the tools panel here on the left-hand side. The tools we're going to be using today are the selection tool. It is a shortcut key of V, and the eyedropper tool, shortcut key I. And then we also are going to be creating a clipping mask, which will use object up here in the top drop down and clipping mask. And I will provide those shortcut keys when we get into it. So at this point, here's what you'll need to do. Download the file of the mood board templates if you haven't already and get them opened up. You'll go up to File and Open after you've already downloaded the files from the site. This is what you should see minus these images right here. I left this in here for the video so you could see kind of what we're aiming towards, what we're looking for as a completed project. And then you'll see me complete one right here on this first artboard. So with that said, I've gone ahead and created a mock client, Blue and Bold Design Interiors, up here at the top. Obviously, Blue and Bold, they're doing blue and gold as their colors. I have selected some dummy images, all from Pinterest. They are not my own. And there are two ways to bring those in. I can either go File and hit Place. And you can see different options you can pick up where I placed the images. I saved mine in this Blue and Bold mockup, so we'll go ahead and click there. I want all of them selected, so I'm going to click the first one, hold the Shift key down, and click the last one. That allows me to highlight all of them, and then hit Place. I'm going to hover over here on the gray side, just to the left of my artboard. You'll see that there's a small image, and then it says 1 out of 5. If I click each time, you can see all the images that I'm going to be dropping in today. With that said, that's your first use of the selection tool. Again, the selection tool is up here and it's the black fill arrowhead. So basically when we use the selection tool, if we hit an image or text, you have a desired bounding box goes around. This lets you know that this is the image you're actually trying to work with. What you'll need to remember here is that if I just click and hover over one of these white boxes and drag, this lets me size an image up and down, but it makes it not proportional. If I want to keep the proportions, I hover over one of these corner boxes and hold down the Shift key, then click and drag, and I can keep things proportional all I want. So with that said, you'll notice that I'm also going back. The easy shortcut key for that is Command Z if you're on a Mac and Control Z if you're on a PC. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first image that I want to place is this one of the lawn chairs, and I actually want to put it in this gray box. This gray box is going to act as a frame or give us an idea of what the size this image needs to be and also show me what portion of the image I want to include. So I want the yellows and I definitely want this string of chairs. So I'll use my selection tool. I'll select my photo. I'll take it up to the top left corner. I just like to keep things aligned. Then at this point, With it selected, I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And the reason that I do that is because then I can really use the frame to my advantage to see how much of the image is covered up, because if it's covered up, then I know what's going to be included in the clipping mask. So my image is still selected. I'm going to go down and hover over the bottom right corner, hold down the Shift key, then click and drag in until the right side of my image matches the right side of my frame. That looks like it's including quite a bit of what I want included. So the image is still selected. I hold down Shift and click again on the gray box. You can see that blue line came up, so the gray box is selected. And now I go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Right here you can see it's a Command 7. That's the shortcut key. You'll see me use that in just a second. But Object, Clipping Mask, Make is how it will go in the file type. Right here, let's go ahead and put the image of this girl in her blue and gold outfit. I don't really want to focus on her face just because the blue and gold is what the biggest feature is. So I've gone ahead and moved her onto the artboard. My image is selected, and with it selected, I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. At that point, I can easily scroll over and get her aligned. I want her face to basically peep out of the top. And then I'm going to hover over the center bounding box and hold Shift and then scroll up until I basically get her mostly in the center. I do want her shoes to show, so I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and just kind of pull and drag over just a little bit. And at that point, I need her to come back down so that she'll fill up my whole frame box. And to do that, I'm just using my arrow keys to simply bump her down. The image is still selected. Hold down Shift, click on the gray selection, and then Object, Clipping Mask, right? Or that Command 7 should do the trick. Okay, I'm going to go through quickly on these next ones so you'll see me do them. I am using the shortcut keys. I'm aligning it up to the side, holding down Shift to keep it proportional as I drag. That looks about right. Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Still like what it looks like with the frame. Select it. Command 7 or Control 7 if you're on a PC. This macrame piece is kind of skinny, but I really want to focus on this bigger item, so I'm just going to click and drag out to that size. With it selected, Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Hold down the Shift, select the gray box, Command 7 or Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And then finally this bedroom set. Now you can see where I want to focus is on the blues and golds and grays here. So I'm going to drag my box over. It's not quite big enough, so I'll extend it out just a little bit with the image selected, Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Go ahead and hold Shift and click on the gray frame box, Command 7, and we've got all of our images in. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and move this place marker, and I'm going to drag down the type treatment that I created for their logo. Now you can see we're all pretty much done with the clipping masks, and we've used the selection tool. So now it's time for the eyedropper tool. These 4 gray boxes were pretty much put there for color palettes or texture clippings. And today we're just going to use a color palette. I've decided for my client I want to pitch them 2 blue shades and 2 gold shades to kind of give us some variance in their color tones. So with that said, remember when we hover over the selection tool, it is a V, and then the eyedropper tool, when we hover over it, the shortcut key is an I. So I'm going to go ahead and hit V. I'm going to select this top box, then I'll hit I, or go over and select the eyedropper tool. I want a darker yellow color, so I'm just going to go over the lawn chair image. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can even get a little bit better view. I'm going to select in here and click, and then I've basically got a darker gold. So hit Selection, select the next box, hit I to go and pick out the eyedropper tool. I want a lighter shade of yellow, kind of right in here. Then V for the selection tool on your keyboard. Select the next box. Hit I on your keyboard for the eyedropper tool. And you can see that there's 2 shades of blue, so I want the darker shade. Then I hit V for the selection tool. Select my final box. Go back to I on my keyboard to get myself the eyedropper. And then I want a lighter blue. And with that, you have gone ahead and gotten your entire mood board set up for your client. So the only thing you need to do now is know how to save a file so that you can send it. I save as either JPEG or a PDF, and to do that, we're on Artboard 1. You'll go to File, Export, and then Export As, and then here the screen will pop up. You'll be able to save it as a JPEG or a PDF, name it what you want, place it in whatever folder you want, and you'll hit Export, and you'll be good to go. So with that said, let's get to making mood boards.